From the very beginning, about 6 years ago, we had the Vision 2015 process, which was hundreds of community members come together and play a huge part of the design of this building. The community told us this was the building that they wanted. There was three main areas of consideration when we designed this building. There's the incredible learning environment that we've created, the green sustainability, and the cost efficiency of this building. One of the things we're very proud of is that the square foot cost of the construction of this building was $210 a square foot. There were 6 regional governmental buildings built during the same time, and the average cost of those buildings were $364 a square foot. So for $210 a square foot, we have constructed an amazing learning environment that is green and will cost less to operate in the future for the school district. This is the multi-purpose room. It's the cafeteria. It is where they can have events, presentations, performances by the students, and it can also be used by the community. It is accessible from the outside for the community. There's a community room in the back. The stage is right in front of those music areas so that they're able to access and bring their equipment right from the back up the ramp onto the stage. One thing I want to point out is the lighting in the gym. Everything is lit right now by the skylights. There are lights on either side of the skylights for that evening event or the rare cloudy day in Reno, Nevada. But you will notice that natural light is used throughout this building to light all areas whenever possible.
Right now I'm behind the Depoali light shelves, and they keep from so the sun can come in and we don't have to waste our lights, so we can save energy.
Teachers are so excited to have natural lighting in their classrooms. Some teachers have come from classrooms that have absolutely no windows. And so when they walk into these classrooms and they can have sunlight coming into their classrooms, they're just so much happier.
I love my science lab. We get this natural light from that window and that window over there. And we have yet to turn on our classroom lights.
The first thing that just blew me away was the windows over here. The natural light makes a huge difference for the kids. I mean, I think there have been studies that have said that natural light really helps kids learn a lot better. So I see that effect.
This building is heated and cooled by a ground source heat pump system. Underneath the baseball fields out there, there's 373 wells that are 300 feet deep.
The water that comes into the building that heats and cools the building, the water is at a certain temperature. And so the pumps out there that actually heat or cool that water only have to go up or down a couple degrees.
Right now we're talking about renewable and non-renewable resources, and the kids have already studied about how water can be used as a renewable resource. And they learned yesterday about all the wells that are out underneath the field. So we will all be tying it all in together. It's a really great teaching tool to have all of this here for the kids to see.
This is the flat screen TV that shows how it goes 300 feet under the ground and comes back in through here and just goes through, and we turn it into heating and cooling.
It is estimated to date that the utility bills for this building will be 60% less than the middle schools we built in the 1990s, which will be huge savings for our middle schools, for our general fund for years down the road.
From here, from end to end, is 500 feet of Main Street, and I can see about 98% of my kids walking through this hallway, going from class to class.
When parents or any other public entity needs to come into the building, they check in through the office. There is a 600-pound magnet, but we have to allow them to go in by pushing a remote or a button that allows that magnet to release and open that door. So we know who comes into the building at all times.
Another feature is that the entire perimeter of the school is fenced so that there is no access to the academic areas in the back.
I feel very safe. I wouldn't be threatened by anything because we're fenced in, and the only point of entry for anybody besides students is right behind me.
7th and 8th graders have 4 teachers: math, science, social studies, and English. Those teachers all collaborate on what they're teaching. Each wing of this building has a team teaching room where all 4 classes can come together and discuss the subject and work on the topic that they are working on at that time. The 6th graders have 2 teachers. They have a math and science teacher, and they have an English and social studies teacher. It's a natural progression with the 7th and 8th graders having 4 teachers, and then when the students get on to high school, they have 5 or more teachers.
This is our dual teaching English and social studies classroom. I think that having 2 teachers for our core classes is really interesting because you have the ability to ask both of the teachers maybe one of the same questions, and they'll both know because they're working together.
This is my math and science teacher with my teacher, Miss Farnes, and this is where we learn all the tech stuff and lab and everything.
There will be days that we have science class, but we are able to do a lot of math concepts and skills within the science, and then vice versa. We can incorporate a lot of scientific concepts within our math lessons, so they really can be pretty fluid.
I think the coolest thing about Depoali Middle School is just all the technology. Like, it's so high tech, and it's like you're in a whole different planet altogether.
The technology is incredible. We have an amazing amount of resources here. We're really lucky, and I'm really lucky to be able to teach here, and I have a lot to learn.
For the 6th grade wing, we have 4 laptop carts that we can wheel into the classroom. It's all wireless, so if you look around, the students are sharing a laptop, and what they're seeing on their screen is the same thing that is on the Promethean board up front. So we can follow along. Right now we're talking about renewable and non-renewable energy, so they can read about it on their laptops, and we can project it on the Promethean board up front.
Myself as a parent am very impressed with the school as we come in. Obviously, a new school means new technologies and a great learning environment for the students to keep up with an upgrowing economy and a world economy in a smaller world.
Here we are at the outdoor amphitheater area at Depoali Middle School. In the design of the building, of course, the outdoor areas were taken into consideration for learning as well.
What does this show you about measurements? And so today our students are doing a science lab measuring and estimating distance and length, and it's really key to be able to use the environment around us as a learning tool. And so our school landscape is perfect for that because of the new construction and the various things that they can measure. As you can see, they're measuring the structure, they're measuring the plants, each other, and the hands-on learning in science is the best way to go.
I'd like to talk a little bit about how this building is a teaching tool. You can see that there's exposed pipes for the ground source heat pump system. The structural is exposed, all the heating and air conditioning piping is exposed to encourage the students to inquire and to learn about the sustainability and the green features of this building.
A student being in this building can walk down the halls during passing time or walk down the halls with their teachers, and they can learn from the piping in the hallways, can walk down and at the end of Main Street and see the flat screen TV. The whole building itself is like an open book. It's a teaching tool from the moment they walk in the doors till the moment they walk out at the end of the day.